Oh yeah. We have an esteemed guest. If you don't know by now, you should know. That's right. You hear him in the background. Vic Joseph, a ring announcer from the WWE and 205 Live, has joined us on the show. Vic, how you doing, man?
I was a little thrown away by the "I Was Made for Loving You" Kiss song that just brought me into the show. So I'm actually doing pretty well right now.
Well, I'll take everyone back a little bit. We are actually personal friends. You were personal friends of the show for sure. So I know a little bit about you, probably more than others, and I know that you are a giant Kiss fan.
Oh, huge Kiss fan.
Yeah,
I actually have a Kiss room in my house.
I do too, but it's different.
Yeah, it's a different Kiss room.
All right, guys, this is PG.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, Vic, we got you on the show because there is a game that was just recently released called WWE 2K19. Obviously, it rings really well with us on the show. We do enjoy a good wrestling match here and there. You've played the game, right?
Yeah, I was actually part of the unveil to some of the media in Orlando, Florida during the WWE 2K19 event at the WWE Performance Center. So I got to play with a couple of those individuals from the video game world, and actually Tom Phillips and I played a few matches. He actually worked as the 1970s Ric Flair in a 1970s Brady Bunch suit.
Woo!
And I worked as Cleveland's own personal friend of mine, one of my best friends, Johnny Gargano.
Oh, yeah, Johnny.
And we did a Money in the Bank ladder match in the Mexico Arena. I know that's a lot to digest.
That's okay.
But, yeah, it was awesome. The gameplay is so smooth compared to even last year's version of the WWE 2K series. So I think everyone will be very, very happy with this year's edition.
I mean, yeah, especially because I know last year it didn't really seem to have the I don't even know what you want to say. Verlaine, help me out with the word. Kind of like the draw, I think.
Yeah, well, okay, so we all know that these titles are sports titles, which are pretty much yearly. And what happens with us is we buy a year and we play it, but the next year they don't always, promote a lot of the differences because a lot of them are subtle, even though they're very impactful. So we tend to skip a year every time because, but last year didn't seem to have even the stuff that this year has. Like it seems like they put a lot more for this year for some reason. Maybe it's a different engine that they're using.
Is there something that you want to talk about as far as what's different from this year than last year? Like what really stands out?
Well, guys, I think the biggest thing for WWE fans is, the stories, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the WWE is built on stories. You either like a guy or you dislike a guy, and you get personally invested in a character. And what I think is unique about this year's model is there is a story mode that revolves around Daniel Bryan.
It's supposed to be big. It's supposed to be real good.
What's that? It's
supposed to be big. I'm hearing the storyline is
yeah.
exactly what is the big about this. Okay, well, tell me about the storyline at least.
Yeah, so Daniel Bryan, it's about his story, about his the Yes movement that overtook the wrestling world and even the world of sports. I mean, you've seen Big Ten universities like Michigan State doing the yes, 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 and it's all over the place. And you really get his story from the beginning to his arrival in WWE, to his retirement, to his comeback. So, I mean, that story in itself is huge. So a new player mode, create a player mode that you can dive into, and you dive right into NXT with Matt Bloom, and it's voiceovers from the actual NXT coaches that are in the Performance Center every single day. And it's very fun. It's very unique. It has a very easy playable atmosphere to it. And then outside of that, just look at the roster that this has. And
200
the
characters
roster's been unveiled. It's huge. It's awesome. It's going to be an amazing video game.
Yeah, they're saying 200 new playable characters, or playable characters, and then they're saying 40 of those characters are brand new to the whole system.
Yeah, and that's what's unique about it. I mean, and you and I, and it's funny because when you and I were working at CBS in Cleveland, you used to play different wrestling theme songs bringing me back into shows.
Oh,
that
yeah.
I was
Oh, yeah.
doing. And then it'd be, well, which one is this, Vic? And sometimes I got it right. Sometimes I got it wrong.
Right.
There are so many new unique characters, and, you really can have that quote-unquote fantasy warfare, this year. You can have Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles. You could have, Braun Strowman going up against any other monster from back decades ago. So it's very unique in that aspect. It's very fun. The Daniel Bryan story mode is very fun. And then the story mode for your Create a Superstar, I think, is better than last year. And even the year before that, just because of the different aspects of being involved with the actual NXT coaches like Matt Bloom, who most of your listeners would know as Albert or even Tensai.
Oh, yeah. Verlaine, you got a question about the game?
Yeah, okay, so I hear that they've taken out the ability to grab weapons from underneath the ring, right?
I don't think they have, because I believe I took a weapon from underneath the ring when I played it.
Okay, yeah, that's one thing that I read that I was kind of discouraged about, but in a sense that the reason maybe it's just specific matches, like I was reading really into the cage matches, how they've changed them, how now you can fight people while you're climbing. You can both be climbing. There's more drop spots at Hell in a Cell. Have they done any other even the minor tweaks would be major, but the tweaks that would make, like, the cage matches were so one-sided. It was so easy to win. Once you were on your way to win, remember that, Dave? You would win all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was really like there were some matches that were totally unbalanced.
Because I was better at the game than you were.
No.
Well, that just because Dave's a natural.
Not against 5 green.
You heard it. You heard it from Vic firsthand. That's all.
Check is in the mail.
Thank you.
No, but there's a couple of improvements from last year. So, for instance, Verlaine, what you're talking about is like the Money in the Bank or any sort of ladder match has a game inside the game. So when you get up to the top of the ladder and you want to grab the Money in the Bank briefcase, you actually have to almost like turn your left joystick and your right joystick so that a ball keeps dropping into a maze. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that's what they did. They did that. Remember, I think 2 years ago. How the thing, Dave, the outer circle would spin and the inner circle.
You gotta get the point to get in the little open area.
I like that, though.
So there's that game is back now.
Good.
In the Money in the Bank and in the ladder match. And when it comes to, just for instance, I don't want to give too much away, the Hell in a Cell, it's much more realistic. So if you go to run the corner, let's say, around the steel steps, you're going to trip over the steel steps.
Oh, okay.
It's not so easy just to run in a circle, slide into the ring, run on the other side, and play, the old okey doke with your opponent. You're going to trip over the steel steps, or you're going to run into them and hit your knee, and that sort of hesitation will allow your opponent or your compadre that you're playing against to catch up to you.
Okay.
So I played as Shawn Michaels 97 against Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman beat me up. And Tom Phillips was actually Braun Strowman, and I couldn't run as easily, so that was kind of like, oh man, this is much more realistic, which at the same time is it makes the game more fun because it is more realistic, and also more frustrating because it's realistic.
Yeah, that's cool. I think a big question that me and Verlaine were kind of wondering, and we didn't really want to find out online, we just kind of want to hear it directly from you. Are you in the game?
I cannot tell you that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good answer. I love that answer.
Okay, cool.
I can tell you that I'm not on the version of those that come on the game, but maybe, and I'm hoping for maybe like an announcer DLC with like me and Tom Phillips and Percy Watson and Nigel to come out maybe in a few months.
I'll buy it. Even if I don't have the game, I'd buy it.
That is incredible. It was something that we were like, okay, do you think, because, well, I don't know, he's only been there so long. Say, how long have you been with the company itself?
I will be there 2 years in November. So November. I'll be there 2 years in January, but up on the main roster, I think I'm trying to correlate it to Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I think I was in. I think I got called up 4 months after it.
Okay. Well, that's not bad. 4 months. Hey,
No, that's awesome.
I think like 3 months or 4 months. I've done all four of the big four pay-per-views. I've done SummerSlam twice, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble. My first WrestleMania was last year.
Yeah.
Calling a match. So
Dude, that's awesome.
I would just say I've been there 2 years this January.
It's amazing. Definitely I could say rags to riches, just because I know where you've been.
You've been to the indie shows, brother.
Absolutely. And this is really big. And I know not only is it really big for you, but like just as your friend, I've always been kind of like I'm your biggest fan. You know what I mean? Like I've always felt like I see and you're like, man, that's just so cool. Just because I've been watching. I mean, you know me, dude. I watch every wrestling. I watch every show. I watch Raw. I watch SmackDown. 205 Live. I watch all the pay-per-views. Like, dude, I am the quintessential WWE fan. So when I see one of my own, like across those lines, it just makes me feel good. And I just really wanted to say thank you. Can I say that?
No, you don't got to thank me. I thank you guys for allowing me to come on with you guys. And it's funny because I've gotten so today, just for instance, WWE announced the United Kingdom show.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that
coming out, and I'll be the voice of the United Kingdom show.
That's
so
awesome.
That's an honor for me to be on that from the ground level. So the first episode of NXT UK, which comes out October 17th. I'm voicing it along with Nigel McGuinness. So to be a part of that from the ground up is truly special for me. But I'm doing the UK show, 205 Live, main event. I'm on season 2 of Mixed Match Challenge, which airs every Tuesday, 10 o'clock Eastern time on Facebook Watch. It's me, Michael Cole, and Renee Young. I do List This, which is a YouTube show that's last time I checked, on average, was getting just over 1 million hits a week.
Not too bad.
So it's been crazy over the last 2 years for everything, and traveling all over the world, and just to be here now, because I was a fan. I was a huge fan, and Dave and I used to talk about WWE all the time in the studios, and to see what we're doing now. I mean, we just had a show in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah,
we're gonna have the first all women's pay-per-view coming up October 28th. We're going to have another show from Saudi Arabia, and I believe November 2nd from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Crown Jewel, and we're going to crown the WWE World Cup Best in the World 8-man tournament in one night on that night. So, I mean, there's so much going on, and when you think about the WWE Network, I mean, there's so much content. There's so many live events, Super Show, which I just talked about, Crown Jewel coming up, Evolution, all the pay-per-views. I mean, to be a part of it now it's humbling. And then to see my friends in Cleveland that are still watching and commenting and liking and sending me text messages. I mean, it's fun for me because I'm still a fan at heart. So, Dave, that comment means a lot to me, probably more than, you even believe.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad because I definitely mean it. I definitely mean it. Really, you probably have a question about the UK, but let me get mine out and real quick. Actually, Link, he's part of the show. He actually gave me this question to ask you because it's a really good one. He's actually wondering, because he's a big fan too. He watches WWE all the time. He says, are NXT UK wrestlers exclusive to wrestling on the UK show, or will we see them move in between NXT?
As a matter of fact, you've seen the UK superstars on NXT.
Well, for now, but once it separates, will we see?
No, I think they'll both be going back and forth. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, British Strong Style. They've been on NXT represented. You will still see them on NXT.
Dunne's the champ, of course.
Even when NXT UK begins, which again is October 17th, you're going to see some superstars from 205 Live over on NXT UK. So there's a lot of cross representation. It's going to be very unique. It's going to be very fun, and it's going to make Wednesday nights on the WWE Network must see.
It's great. It's great. Verlaine?
I actually want to bring it back to video games.
Yeah, let's do that.
So what's up with the whole big head feature? Like, all right, I kind of get it. Like, it used to be a thing back with like NBA Jam. And back in the 90s, and it's a nice little gimmick, but they're really hitting this hard, and I I think it's semi, so you can really like maybe to accentuate the facial features of the guys, like you actually will be able to see them. But is there any other reason why they're really hitting on something that doesn't seem like, you know what I'm saying, like a big addition, though it is?
I think it's just a cool retro feature, as you mentioned, like NBA Jam and things like that, and it's also something that I've never seen in any wrestling game before.
Well, it is going to be that
a 2K series WWE game, and I think it's just something new. I think it's something fun to kind of spark the interest of everyone, and I love it.
Well, it really shows off the graphical.
I love it. So if the New Day guys love it, I love it.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm a huge fan of the big head mode.
I'm huge into pancakes.
I've always been the guy when playing NBA Jam to try to get the big head mode like right now. Like I didn't even care.
Yeah,
because it's stupid.
I think it's cool. I don't. But to Verlaine's point, I don't think if you're a hardcore WWE 2K series fan, you know, and you're on the fence, that it's going to make you want to go buy the game.
Yeah.
But it's such a cool feature that it's so unique, and I think it's a trial thing. You know, I don't necessarily know if it'll be a next year's game, but when I played it, it was like you were like, oh, this is so cool. It's funny. You're laughing at it. I remember sitting with Carmella when Carmella played for the first time, and she had the big head walking down the ring, and we were just laughing. I mean, it's one of those things where if you, myself, and Dave were all sitting in a room and we decided to do a triple threat ladder match, you guys want to do big head mode? Yeah, let's do big head mode, and we're all going to do big head mode. You know, it's fun. It's just one
Something
of those
different
party type games to bring people together, and that's what WWE is about. We're about putting smiles on people's faces. So if big head mode is something that's going to bring a smile to your face and add a little bit to your party and add a little bit of oomph to your gaming experience, and that's what we're going to do.
Right on. Right on. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's a massive improvement over last year. You're going to get, let's see, Rey Mysterio, Ronda Rousey, of course, the great Ronda Rousey's in the game. And then, well, like I said, 40 new characters. I just want to go over some of these characters because I know Verlaine is more of a fan of like the old wrestling.
Yeah, when it came to Attitude, the whole Attitude era, every single Cleveland show I was at, front row, every show, every pay-per-view, like I was all about it. But just that era, pretty much when The Rock stopped, is around when I kind of dropped off.
Well, The Rock has never stopped. So
well, when The Rock started doing movies.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, we totally know what you mean. But like, I mean, just a few to go over. Bret the Hitman Hart, Bam Bam Bigelow, Macho Man Randy Savage, Alundra Blaze too. Like that's cool to see. Like some new women in there too. I feel like that's kind of a big draw when it comes to this game because in the past women were kind of like, you know, they were wrestlers, but they weren't really a spotlight. But now I see it; they are like just part of the team, and I love it. I'm really loving that.
Is Bull Buchanan in it?
That's a fun part, you know, Alundra Blaze being in the game. And you can go back to SmackDown just this past Tuesday where I don't remember the last time SmackDown opened with a championship match that there was no, like, ring introduction.
Right.
You know, no entrance music. I mean, they started right in on Charlotte and Becky Lynch. And the first all-women's pay-per-view is coming up, Evolution, on October 28th. And all these legends like Trish Stratus and Lita that are in the Hall of Fame, that are going to be in the game, that are going to be in Evolution, they're going to compete again in the ring. It does add something new for the fans of women's wrestling.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think when you have Alundra Blaze, who's a Hall of Famer and is so fun to be around and is so informative and can give you so much information just on my personal level, to have her in the game is fun. But as you guys mentioned, the 40 new characters, the legends of yesteryear, the Attitude Era, to go back and go
Psycho Sid, Ted DiBiase.
I
keep going.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What are you guys laughing at?
No, I'm just saying Psycho Sid, Ted DiBiase, Shawn Michaels, Scott
mean,
Hall, Robert
stuff.
effing Gibson. Can I just say that?
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, this game this year, it just has a different feel to it, and it's like, you know, Verlaine, I think, brought up the point of, you know, we always every year go get a sports game, and I'll use Madden Well, what's the difference between Madden 18 and Madden 17? Oh, a team's jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, you can stiff arm with the B button now?
Yeah. Practice.
You know, it's like
practice mode.
You know, but this year, WWE's 2K series is so interactive with the story mode, with the new characters, with everything I've talked about already, that it's just so fun to play. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on the game
for sure.
and give it a spin.
I will.
Right.
I mean, we skipped a year, so this is the year we get the new one.
Here we got to get it, and we definitely will. Verlaine, you got anything else you want to ask him? I got some quick fun stuff.
No, go for the fun stuff. I like fun stuff.
All right, this is going to be real quick, Vic. This is like one word answers, or you can give an explanation. We don't mind.
All right.
Okay, so you're a gamer. We know this, right? You've played games your whole life.
I'm actually playing Assassin's Creed for the first time ever on Xbox One. I'm on Assassin's Creed for the 360. And I'm in Memory Block 3.
Okay. All right. Wait, are you
letting you guys know where I'm at in life now?
No, I like it. That's okay. Okay, so what was your first console you ever owned?
First console I ever owned that I can remember was the original Nintendo. The first game I had was the Duck Hunt Mario Brothers.
Nice. Okay. What's your favorite Mario game, since you mentioned?
Favorite Mario game is the original Mario, which I still have in my apartment.
Nice.
And here in Orlando, and just to spawn off of that for a moment, gentlemen, I have in my apartment the original Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, Sega Game Gear,
I love
Nintendo
Game Gear.
DS,
Yes,
Xbox One, PS4, and a Nintendo Switch.
Ugh.
Get VR.
You are definitely a gamer. You got to get VR. Yes, you do. You definitely.
I haven't tried the VR. I've thought about it. In my home in Cleveland, I do have an arcade.
Yes, you
which
do.
I think Dave has seen.
I have played on. Yes.
So big into the games.
Okay.
I will digress now.
Favorite game overall?
Is there a genre or just in general?
Just in general. Let's just go general.
So I love, in terms of wrestling, WWF No Mercy. For the Nintendo
Yes.
Great game.
Best wrestling game still.
pretty much. So I think that's an easy cop-out answer.
No, it's right. I think you're right on.
I will say, outside of that, on the new gen systems, I love the Uncharted series.
Oh, yeah.
Big fan of the Uncharted series. Last of Us was probably the best game I've played in a very long time that I would want to replay. Also a fan of the new set of Tomb Raiders, but on the Xbox. I can't wait to get the new Shadows game here in a few weeks. Prince of Persia on the old gen systems were a set of my favorite games.
Sands of
it's hard
Time
for me to
was
pick
epic.
one game overall.
That's fair. Okay, we'll take that as your answer. That's good.
Oh, Tecmo Bowl on the original Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
Super Tecmo Bowl. Sorry, Super Tecmo.
Oh, yeah. Our good friends over at that play Tecmo Cleveland. I'm sure they would be happy about that for sure. Best superhero movie?
I'm a big fan of Batman, so I will go the whole new trilogy of Batman games with Christian Bale.
No, movie, not games. Movie.
Movie. The
Okay.
whole new trilogy of movies.
Oh, okay.
I can't pick one. I actually have a Joker wall in my house with an original Joker action figure. I will not tell you how much it costs, but I'm a big fan of the Joker, so I'm really looking forward to the new Joker movie coming out with Mr. Phoenix.
Okay. A couple more. Who's your favorite wrestler growing up?
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. Gotta love that.
Who I now get to deal with every day. And it's absolutely amazing to get to talk and pick his brain about things and then have him come up and ask me questions. Dude, it is surreal.
That's so cool.
It is surreal.
Has he given you sweet chin music yet?
Oh, no, I'm not crazy.
Okay, good. Whew, I was going to say, man, yeah, that would probably be the end of your illustrious short career at that point.
Yeah, he has given me, though, the best piece of advice I was ever given before I got quote-unquote called up to the main roster. So I actually owe him a debt of gratitude.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to give us that advice.
Okay, yeah. Can you give us the advice he gave you?
No.
Okay. That's fair.
No, he told me to make sure that I understand everything that's going on. Broke it down for me a little bit more than that, but he said never go into anything unprepared. Be over prepared.
Good. Great advice. Last question. When will you take over Raw and WWE as a whole? Because I'd really like to know that.
Oh, I cannot tell you that.
I didn't think so.
There's a plan in place.
Oh, there's a plan. That's all I need to know.
There's a plan in place.
That makes me happy. Yeah,
there's a plan in place. We're going to take over the world, Dave, you and I.
I love it. Can I be your manager? That's really all I ask.
No, I think not. I'd rather have Verlaine.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right, Verlaine?
No, absolutely.
Ouch.
No, not ouch. I mean, come on. Verlaine's a good dude.
What about
Verlaine doesn't get enough love, I don't feel like.
I think Vic is right.
Oh, you don't get enough love? Come on.
I'll let you two bicker amongst yourselves about this.
And we
I'd
will
love to have both of you guys as my managers.
All right. Well, cool. Yeah, that's fine. But I mean, I'm the higher up, obviously.
Dave, I'd probably let you be my manager.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'd be so good. Oh my God, it'd be the best.
So let me ask you guys something.
Oh, I like it.
What
yeah.
are you guys looking forward to in the new WWE 2K19 video game?
Honestly, big head mode is something that I've been looking at and like salivating over. I am not even kidding. Like that is definitely one thing for me that I'm like, yes.
It's like you have the game and you can be like, hey, I got 3 or 4 buddies coming over. Let's do big head mode. Let's do a Money in the Bank ladder match with 5 of my friends, big head mode, and then just think of these characters like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Sid, The New Day, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, list goes on and on, with these big heads climbing the ladder trying to get that Money in the Bank briefcase. I mean, it has fun written all over it.
Verlaine, what about you?
I'm big into the whole creating thing, like creating a wrestler, but I actually like creating our own rings and stuff for when we stream. Have they done any improvements on that at all? Besides adding the extra features.
That to give you an honest answer. So I'd probably tell you that it's maybe a little improved from last year. I just don't know enough about that content to really give you an honest answer. But I can tell you is some of the arenas that have already been created are very fun to play in. You actually have the ability to go back and do WCW Halloween Havoc.
Sweet.
Starrcade.
Yes.
You almost think like you're playing the old WCW when THQ developed the game.
Oh yeah.
And and WCW versus NWO, WCW World Tour. I mean, you have those old school venues already built into the game, but I just don't know enough about the creative side of that for a gamer itself.
Gotcha.
Yes, that's fine. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, Vic, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciated it probably way more than you did, even though you kind of seem like you enjoyed yourself, and I appreciate that.
No, I loved it. I love talking about the games. It's one of my favorite things to do when we're on the road. All we have are video games. So when you get to sit down with Xavier Woods while he's playing like UFC and stuff, or up, down, down, and you're just watching him play, it gets my juices flowing. So when you guys decided to have me on, I was like, heck yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, let the people know where to find you and where they're going to get to see you next.
So I am every Tuesday, or not Tuesday anymore, Wednesday afternoons. Wednesday afternoons, it'll be WWE UK, NXT UK, 3 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock, 205 Live. Main event is also on video on demand on the WWE Network. List this is on YouTube, and you can find me on social media on Instagram and on Twitter at Vic Joseph WWE.
Awesome, Vic. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys.
Vic Joseph from the WWE announcer. He is awesome.
Totally.